Do you remember the Aiwa model AD-F910? Well, here it is. I just took it out of its shelf because I'm rearranging some stuff in my room. And I thought I'd give you a better look at this, because the original video I made with my APTEC camcorder had a bad quality. And I also wanted to take a look inside this unit here. For those of you who don't remember, I got this cassette deck quite a while ago at a flea market along with my little Sony TCD5 Pro. I think for this one I paid something around €15. And this was made in the early 90s, and it is rather well made for the 90s. You would not expect such a quality, really. And here we have the back of the cassette deck. You can see the inputs and outputs right there. This cassette deck has two record inputs, as you can see. One is the usual record line in, and the other one is marked CD/DAT direct in. You have a switch on the faceplate to select a record input. It is a nice feature because you can use that as another input if your amplifier doesn't have enough inputs, but, well, it's also kind of useless. There we have the usual writings that you'll find on the back side. And this cassette deck was made in Japan. Let's take a look inside. And here it is, the inside of the Aiwa cassette deck. And, well, there you can already see a sign of quality. Yep, some heat sinks. Well, there is nothing special about the heat sinks except for that they are actually existing, because a lot of the cassette decks in the 90s had no heat sinks or too small heat sinks, so that you'd end up with components dying of the heat they produced all the time. Transformer is, well, pretty small, but, well, again, for a 90s cassette deck, not too bad. The housing, of course, is also not the highest quality, as you can see, but at least they used some proper metal for that. So you can also see that this was made when Aiwa was owned by Sony already. Sony bought Aiwa. You can see the Dolby integrated circuits were made by Sony. You can see it right there. Now, the reason why I wanted to take a look inside this cassette deck was Analog Josh has a cassette deck that's pretty similar to this cassette deck. And back when I commented on his video, I was unable to remember how many motors this cassette deck had. On the front it says 3 motors, but something told me that that was not the truth, and I was right. We have a capstan motor right here, and a motor that drives the take-up and supply reels, and a third motor here. But the third motor drives only the door, and nothing else than that. So, well, actually this is just a 2-motor mechanism. But, well, Aiwa was not the only producer who lied about the number of motors. There were many more. So, the circuit board is pretty big and contains a lot of discrete components, which is nice. And, well, basically that's it for the inside of the Aiwa AD-F910 cassette deck. I hope you enjoyed this video.